Hi students. So today we will try to understand the hardware and microprogram control unit. So first of all, we will try to understand what is the control unit and what is the need of this control unit. As we know that in the block diagram of the microcomputer, the central processing unit or CPU is the brain of the microcomputer. So it is the most important part of the microcomputer. And again, if we look at the internal architecture of the CPU, then we will find that mainly it is having the two parts. One part is called arithmetic and logical unit, which will be responsible to perform all the computing related operations. All the arithmetic and logical operations will be performed by this particular unit. And another important unit which is called the control unit. The role of the control unit is to generate the different control signals at different times. This particular unit will be responsible to decide the what type of operation processor want to perform, either within the processor or outside the processor with respect to the memory, external memory or input output devices. So what type of operation will have to be performed by the microprocessor, that will be decided by the control unit of the microprocessor. That is why it is very important. So now we will try to understand what are the different types and what is the difference between these two types of. So as we have already discussed that the control unit is a very important unit of the central processing unit or a microprocessor. And the role of the control unit is to generate the control signals and which will be used to perform the different operations of the CPU. So at what time what operation will have to be performed, that will be decided by the control unit. Two techniques are used for the control unit, and these two techniques are: number one is hardware control unit, number two is the programmed control unit. So these are the two different types by using which control unit can be designed for a particular CPU. So first of all, we will discuss what is the hardware control unit and then program control unit. And then we will try to understand what are the basic difference between these two types, hardware and microprogram control unit. So first is the hardware control unit. As its name is indicating, the hardware control unit is implemented by using the various electronics components such as combination logic units, logic gates, decoders. So all these hardware components, all these electronics components are used to design or implement the hardware control unit. So as it is a hardware control unit which is developed or implemented by using the different logic gates, and this particular circuitry, whatsoever the circuitry we will design to develop the hardware control unit, it will have a fixed architecture. As it is a hardware circuit, so it will remain fixed, so its architecture will be fixed. For any processor, let's suppose we have designed any hardware control unit for any instruction set, but let's suppose we want to change the instruction set. So naturally, if we want to change the instruction set or even a one instruction or a operation of one instruction, then we will have to change the hardware control unit according to the instruction set or that particular instruction. But in this particular case, if we will want to change the instruction set, then there is a need to change the wiring of this particular hardware chain, which is very difficult. So that is why this is a disadvantage of hardware control unit. It is not easy to change it. It will always remain the fix, so it is not easy to change it. So this is the hardware control unit, which is basically designed by using the different electronic components. Okay. So the second type is the microprogram control unit. What is a microprogram control unit? As its name is indicating, this particular control unit or this particular type of control unit is implemented by using the sequence of micro instructions, and those sequence of micro instructions will be stored within the control memory. So there will be a control memory in which there will be a certain sequences will be stored for the instruction set of the microprocessor. So these micro instructions, whatsoever the micro instruction will be stored within the control memory as a microprograms. These micro instructions refer to a control word, and that particular control word will reside in the control memory, and that particular control memory will contains all the control signals which will be used to execute the micro operations. So whatsoever the instruction we want to execute, each and every instruction have its own control signals. So all those control signals will be stored within the control memory. So this is the basic difference between the hardware control unit and programmed control unit. One is purely hardware based, implemented by using the logic gates and other combination logic circuits, including decoder, coder, many more. And another is purely software based, which means in which microprogrammed control unit we will use the different micro instructions to generate the different control signals for the different instructions. Okay, so this is that basic difference. So now we will try to understand what is the difference between the hardware and microprogram control. So in this particular slide we will try to differentiate the two different control units, hardwired and microprogram control units, on the basis of different parameters, and these parameters will be speed, cost, flexibility, ability to handle the complex instruction, decoding, the application where these control unit can be used, size of the instruction set, do we require the control memory or not, with reference to the chip area as well. So first of all, we'll try to compare the performance of two control unit on the basis of speed. The hardware control unit is having high speed, and on the other hand, the speed of the microprogrammed control unit is slow. Second parameter is the cost. As we will have to use the real discrete component to form or to implement the hardware control unit, so that is why the cost of hardware control unit will be high as compared to the cost of the microprogram, because in the case of microprogram we will have to store the different microprograms or to different microprograms to generate the control signals for the different instructions. So the third is the flexibility. If we will go and look at the flexibility, the hardware control units are not flexible, as the real components will be used, real connection, real wiring will be there. So if we want to include or exclude, if we want to add or delete any functionality, any function within the control unit, then really we will have to change either wiring or include or exclude the real component. Then only this particular changes can be accommodated. Okay, so that is why the hardware control signal is not a flexible, so it is not easy to accommodate the new system specifications. But on the other hand, more number of specifications, but on the other hand, the microprogrammed is a flexible control unit, which can be used to accommodate the new system specifications, whatsoever the required or demand of the new system, that can be added or accommodated by the microprogrammed control unit by adding the new microprogram as per the need of the new system specifications. So next is the ability to handle the complex instruction. So it is difficult to handle the complex instruction sets for the hardware control units, because if the instruction set will be complex, so more number of components are to be required. So as we will increase the number of components, so accordingly size will become large, cost will increase, so it will be difficult to handle the complex instruction set. The more features cannot be added very easily. But on the other hand, it is very easy to handle the complex instruction set. So as per the need of the new processor, more instructions can be added anytime, by writing the microprograms, and those programs will be stored to the control memory. Okay, so next is the decoding. The decoding in case of hardwired control unit is complex. So because of its because the real components are the real components are involved in the hardware control unit, so that is why the decoding of the hardware control unit is complex as compared to the microprogram. So the decoding of the microprogram control unit is easy as compared to the hardware program, as compared to the hardware control unit. Now we will come to the application part of the control unit. As we have already discussed that the hardware control unit can be used to handle the cannot be used to handle the complex instruction set. So it will be used to handle the reduced instruction set. So that is why it is the main application of the hardware control unit is RISC microprocessor. So, and on the other hand, for microprogrammed, it can be used for the RISC microprocessors. Complex instruction set computers. The control unit for the complex instruction set computers can also be designed by using the microprogrammed control unit. Now we will come to the control memory. In case of hardware, there is no need any control memory because everything will be available in the form of discrete components. Hardware will be available, so there will be no microprogram will be there which will be used to store in the memory. So that is why there is no control memory is required in this particular case. And on the other hand, the microprogram require the control memory. So it in all those processors in which microprogrammed based control unit will be there, that particular processors are required a separate type of memory called control memory, in which it will have to store all the microprograms which can be used to generate the different control signal for the different instructions. So that is why the control memory is required in the case of microprogrammed, and on the other hand there is no control memory is required in the case of hardware. So now with reference to the chip area, the hardware control signals are required the less chip area as compared to the microprogrammed control units. So on the concluding remarks, we can conclude this: the hardware control units are the high speed control unit, but at the same time we will have to pay the more cost to get the high speed, and these hardware control units cannot be used for the CISC computers which are having the complex instruction set. So this is useful for the RISC processor. On the other hand, the microprograms are cheaper. Microprogram control unit are cheaper, but the speed of the microprogram is slow as compared to the hardware. But these microprogram control units can be used for the CISC microprocessor as well. So this is all about the definition of the hardware and microprogram control unit and the comparative analysis and the comparison of these two control units. Thank you.